Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jeremy Bloom. I'm here with Travis Hockersmith, the Group VP of Platform at Vizio.
Correct.
Amazing.
Correct.
Amazing. So, Travis, you and I were talking over in the corner a few minutes ago. You have been at Vizio for a little over 6 years, and you have seen a lot take place at Vizio when you started from essentially a hardware company to a software company. Can you explain just a little bit of what your role is and your trajectory over the past 6 years in 30 seconds or less?
I don't know if I can do it in 30 seconds, but about 6 years ago, a small group of us came into Vizio to help start the ads business. And at the time, Vizio was a house brand. Everyone knew Vizio TVs, and we made money essentially by selling TVs. Our founder, William Wang, had the foresight to understand that the better business is in making money every time people turn on their TVs. And the ads business is going to be a big part of that. So when we started, there was already an Inscape data business that's been part of Vizio for quite some time. And we built the ads business on top of that by bringing great streaming content onto the platform, but then finding ways to make that attractive to advertisers. And we started as a very small group with a very small amount of revenue.
When you say small, how big was your group?
So when the initial wave of us came in, Mike O'Donnell brought us in. There were probably 5 or 6 of us.
Wow.
Starting the ads business, doing everything from ad operations to client services to sales. We were all kind of doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you'd wear every single hat. You'd get your hands dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
Make shit happen.
Exactly. But fortunately, we had this massive tailwind of interest from the advertising community in moving as much of their budget to streaming as made sense.
Well, let's go take a tiny step back just to understand a bit more of, you said the team was small, revenue was small, and when you think about TV to broadcast to cable to streaming, the journey itself for Vizio, can you hit a little bit more on that specifically of just how the revenue and the team has grown and ascended in those 6 years?
I mean, it all started really with the investment that was made before we started the ads business, which was building an operating system that would pull viewer attention into the streaming environment. Historically, you'd connect a cable box or whatever to your Vizio TV.
Sure.
And we had to have some mechanism to bring people into the streaming environment. And the massive investment over the years that William made in SmartCast really started to bring people in. The emergence of major apps like Netflix obviously got viewers' attention. And when we were able to bring people into that environment, it gave us a lot of opportunity to introduce them to other content as well. To the point where now we see our viewers spending more time in SmartCast than linear by far, because we've kind of replaced the what linear used to be to viewers within the streaming environment. So you can find anything to watch at any time without switching to another device.
Well, and the growth of targeting and audience fragmentation. Why don't you talk a little bit more just about the specifically within the programmatic ecosystem, just how much Vizio has blown up. My experiences, we talked about, I was very early to Mogul, Adobe Advertising Cloud. So just even as a partner with Vizio years ago, just seeing the growth and the expansion, it's really cool and exciting now, being a little bit adjacent to it, but still knowing what you guys are doing.
Yeah, when we came in, we took a lot of feedback from the market on how buyers wanted to buy a video on CTV. And one of the things that we heard loud and clear is that the other CTV platforms were trying to establish what amounted to walled gardens, and the buying community wasn't thrilled about that. So from day one, we were always of the mentality that we want to be able to be bought however buyers want to buy our inventory.
Sure.
And in the beginning, that was primarily IO. I mean, 6 years ago, most of our video business was IO based, but there was still a healthy amount of it that was programmatic. At the time, there was already programmatic demand, but it was somewhat nascent relative to where it is today. Fast forward to today, the programmatic business is where all the growth is in video. We still have an IO-based business for buyers who want to transact that way, but we're seeing an increasing acceleration to programmatic buying, and we've supported it from day one, and we have built a team that's great at providing service to our buyers who are buying through private deals. We have a team that's great at making sure that we have all the best relationships with all the SSPs and DSPs in the space so that we make it as easy to transact on our platform as possible.
So by making it easy to transact on the platform, can you get a little bit deeper on the data components that come with Vizio?
Yeah, so we pass in the bid stream all the data that you would expect given kind of our peer group of publishers. So we're 100% transparent. You always know exactly what app your ad is going to deliver in. We pass signals like genre, like rating. We've never tried to create like a programmatic black box ad network type of feel to our platform.
Yep.
It's all been as transparent as we can from day one.
So why don't we pivot a little bit to the Walmart acquisition, what this means for Vizio, the growth, when you said, when we were joking earlier, just the revenue that would typically come in a typical month back then is what you guys see before noon today. Help us understand just how it's been just with the transition and the pivot and having a new parent.
Yeah, it's actually been everything we could hope for, in that they're allowing us to continue to operate the business the way that we have, at the same time bringing additional resources in. Our first priority from an ads perspective, from a platform perspective, is to make our inventory in our platform as attractive to the Walmart Connect buying base as we can. There was surprisingly little overlap between our core buyers prior to the acquisition and the Walmart Connect client base. So in making our platform attractive,
I'm really surprised about that. That's a really cool thing to hear, actually, just from an outsider looking in.
Yeah, it was very surprising during due diligence to uncover this, and that some of our biggest advertisers were autos and insurance.
Sure.
We certainly had a CPG business, but it wasn't
as robust
the core of our advertiser base. Obviously, the products that you can buy in a Walmart store is the Walmart Connect buyer base, essentially. And like I said, surprisingly little overlap. So the real challenge is, how do we make our platform as attractive to them as possible? And our belief in the integration work we've done so far is the way that we do that is to enable Walmart Connect targeting and measurement on the platform. And right now in market, we have a beta offering out right now where buyers are doing exactly that. They are buying our inventory coupled with Walmart Connect inventory and measurement. And we're really excited about the initial campaigns that have launched in video. And soon to come, we'll be doing the same and extending that capability onto the home screen, which has been a very fast-growing part of our platform as well. Historically, the home screen, we only really sold to what we consider endemic advertisers like Disney Plus or anyone who has content on the platform. It was a great placement for, but how do we make that placement work for general market advertisers, for Walmart Connect advertisers?
Yeah, if you're a CPG that's based in Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, how does it become a lot more relevant? And I would also think that the incrementality that comes with what you're talking about between having both teams, different products coming together, just in terms of what you're able to measure and show that actual ROI between Walmart Connect and the Vizio teams, that's going to be truly exciting for your partners and your advertisers.
Yeah, it will be, and it's a fun challenge to be tackling right now too, because the real challenge in CTV as
there are challenges in CTV?
who would have thought?
Wow.
But the real challenge is really the fragmentation. So if you're an advertiser, how do you accrue a very large audience the way that you could in linear TV? And you can do that in streaming, certainly, but it takes more effort than maybe it did in linear leading into the streaming era, so to speak. But the home screen is an environment where you can reach the entire Vizio population very rapidly. Everyone who turns on their TV to SmartCast will see that placement. Where in video, it's not that way. You've got to piece together a lot of different types of viewership in order to reach a very large audience. The home screen, we think, is going to be a phenomenal placement for advertisers who need broad reach.
Absolutely. It's the first thing you look at. So that makes sense from an audience perspective and from an advertiser perspective. You had brought up the topic of leadership, and a lot of the themes of today's conversations throughout the Innovation Collab have been leadership, career, mentorship, ascending, networking. Help us understand a little bit more just about you as a leader, as you have a large team, and just as you are navigating changes and evolution, just some of the bits of feedback or guidance or advice that you would give to those in the audience and those watching this.
We were very fortunate in the platform business that we got to basically build a team from scratch. So the early leadership on the Platform Plus side, people like Mike O'Donnell, Adam Bergman, myself, we were always very focused on bringing in the right culture who could move fast, because we knew we had to capture this opportunity very quickly, and our belief was that we could only do that if we built the right culture from the beginning. And as a result, we brought in a lot of people onto all of our teams who had worked together in the past at various different companies, who had already built trust in working with each other. And I think that was like the best decision that we made in the early days, is to kind of bring in a culture that we already knew worked. You can only do that if you get the opportunity to build a business from the ground up. But we had that opportunity, and we really capitalized on it, I think. My personal leadership.
Please.
My personal leadership approach is to bring in the best people and let them do their job. I feel like if you bring in the right talent, you give them the right tools, and you just let them do their thing, it'll work. And again, very fortunate that in taking that approach, we I think kept a lot of people really engaged into doing very, very good work for years.
You created a hardware company that is now a hardware and a software company that is now integrated within a top 10 global company. That says something about culture. That says something about the grit that comes with it. So congratulations. This was a great chat. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.